Hey everybody, welcome to the Rhizocast. Doing something a little different today in that we're looking at a very modern book. This came out a couple months ago, Superman, which people that know me know I basically have never read a Superman comic. I've read Red Sun, maybe a couple Elseworld things, but Superman's just, I don't have any interest of him in the comics. I'll watch the cartoon sometimes. That 90s cartoon I thought was good. The Fleischer cartoon is visually amazing. So, with that introduction, you're like, why am I reviewing this? W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, Chris O'Halloran, better known as the team for Ice Cream Man, which when I had the shop, I pushed that book hard. It outsold Batman and X-Men combined in my shop. It's a great book of existential dread-based horror. They're slice of life stories slash horror stories, which is how the world feels sometimes. So anyway, it also is DC Black Label, which is their edgier line. So right away, this is not going to be a normal book. So let's hop into it. Oh, it's called Superman The Kryptonite Spectrum, and this is just issue 1 we're going over. I was talking to my friend Jason that I reviewed his book last time about, like, what would I prefer to have seen Maxwell Prince working on if he was working on a DC book, and I think I'd rather see him work on Bizarro instead of Superman. Would be fun. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I didn't realize that they still on Superman show Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's name, but that's kind of cool. Right off this looks just like Ice Cream Man in every way. Basically, they got the same guy doing lettering, good old neon. They've got everything looks like Ice Cream Man. It just happens to have Superman in it. And so he's finding some new types of kryptonite have been found in deep outer space, and he's sending some Superman robots to go and gather them. So he brings them back to his base. They're going over his what Superman's powers are, which is kind of fun because I do like to think that there are other people who are into Ice Cream Man, not into Superman. Maybe they need a review of some of his powers because they don't really know. Anyway, so he finds some new... These are the classic kryptonites saying what they do to him, what their effect is. Because everything about this, to me, is visually great. It's very, very Ice Cream Man. And so this version of Lex Luthor looks just like the Ice Cream Man without his hat on, which is kind of appropriate. And then this version of Batman is great. Only weirder sanctioned version of Batman is the Sam Keith Batmans, I think. And this thought balloon lettering, that is pretty cool. And let's see. So Superman called Batman to come up there, and he's gonna help him. He wants him to help him figure out what these other kryptonites will do to him. And as is often revealed, they show that Batman keeps a piece of kryptonite in his utility belt at all times just in case. And Batman is saying we should just destroy all the kryptonite, except for presumably the piece that he has. And I'm curious what you think. So Batman offers to incinerate all of the kryptonite. I think Batman would keep it for possible future use. So he's trying to talk him out of testing them, and in the end, he decides that he will. That he'll help him figure out what goes on. And he also says, if anything turns into some sort of a threat, and that he has and Superman's like, yeah, you've got the contingency plan of killing him with the green kryptonite. Here we go. Superman's strapped in to test the purple kryptonite. They turn it on. Everything has gone a little weird. And what it ends up this kryptonite has done is it has semi-unstuck him in time. So, and of course, they haven't quite figured out that that's what's going on yet. And I should mention Lex Luthor was mad that his space people couldn't get the new pieces of kryptonite before Superman got them all. So anyway, here's Lex calling up Solomon Grundy. And basically he's like, okay, I'm just sending out Solomon Grundy here because I need a distraction. And they're doing brain scans of Superman, trying to figure out what exactly the kryptonite did to him. He shows Superman a calendar, and he sees it dyslexic, that all the numbers are misplaced. And that's because he's remembering things out of sequence from the future. So that's how it presents itself. And then Superman gets called. They gotta go face Grundy, even though he's less than ideal. They get there. He meets Jimmy, Lois Lane. This Lois Lane is interesting to me. I think she normally has black hair instead of brown hair, but that's fine. But she's shown looking older, and when he meets her, she's basically dumping him. Like it's a memory from the future. And then he has to fake that he's doing fine. Batman shows up as backup for Superman because of his mind not being right. Superman goes into the fight, and he's having these flashes. Of the fight with Grundy, even though it hasn't happened yet, and Lois breaking up with him. And he is less than ideal for it. And so here we go. You gotta go fight the fight anyway. And kudos to Batman, because Solomon Grundy is basically the Hulk as far as strength level, to my understanding, and Batman is just a man, and he is willing to go and fight this guy that's clearly outclassed him anyway. Then this girl's about to get smashed by a clock, but she's saved by Superman. They keep fighting. Clark's having problems because of the time displacement memories thing. Then we're seeing the panels that we just saw that were kind of randomized put in the sequential order. And I always love it when the grid gets too small like this, showing how much story you could tell in a single comic book page if you elected to. And he basically punches Solomon Grundy all the way into outer space. And Lois is like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I gotta go back to the Arctic and test out this kryptonite stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells her that she's the most wonderful, inspiring, maddening woman he's ever met. And she deserves nothing short of total happiness. No asterisks, just the truth. She says, thanks, I'll see you at dinner tonight. And he says, I wouldn't miss it for the world, Miss Lane. Then we're over here back to looking at Lex Luthor, Superman here. And he's figured out that it should take about an hour for Superman's time thing to be fixed. And he's going to keep the kryptonite in his lead pouch. And then he's jumping forward again to this thing where Lois is breaking up with him. And he's like making a big deal. He doesn't want to be late for the date with Lois. And then they're looking at okay, what is the next color we're gonna try? And it's the cobalt kryptonite. So that'll be the next issue. Anyway, if you're a fan of Ice Cream Man and Superman, I would unquestionably get this. If you're a fan of like the Vertigo line or the Young Animal line when they were using superheroes, then I would get this. I liked it fine. But I am a quite large Ice Cream Man fan. If it seems interesting to you at all, then I would get it. If it seems like totally not good to you, then I wouldn't get it. I'm definitely going to go ahead and get all the issues. I want to support the idea of Maxwell Prince getting more attention. I think he's a great writer, and I always point to W. Maxwell Prince, but I mean Martin Morazzo and the whole team, Chris O'Halloran, good old Neon, all of them, they're putting out the best book of the past probably 10 years in my opinion. So yeah, I would go ahead and say if you see it, you should pick it up. And if it's not for you, then give it to somebody that it is for. I'm sure it's going to be a weird book. I would like to mention, I have only read one other Marvel DC book from W. Maxwell Prince, and that was Marvel Zombie, which took place in the Marvel Zombies universe, starring a character that was already a zombie from before the zombie apocalypse, or maybe not starring, but featuring. And it was fine, but this is still it didn't really feel like, oh, this is the guy that did Ice Cream Man. This still feels like this is that team. The one kind of issue there is, I guess, with this book coming out is it keeps Ice Cream Man from coming out because everybody that would normally be working on that is working on this. But anyway, looking forward to reading the whole thing. Hope you guys dug spending a few minutes with me. We will talk to you later.